Okay, so coming up next is another person that I just think is absolutely fabulous. She's my sis. We do all kinds of amazing projects together. She's an award-winning producer, director, and just fabulous all the way around. Hey, what's happening, Melinda?
Hey, how are ya?
I am crazy, but that's okay.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling. It's all good. It's all good.
Woo! Guess what I learned?
What did you learn?
Don't log into Facebook on 3 different machines within 5 minutes. They block you.
Oh,
Yeah, they said we moved too fast. And they put
they
a
better get
temporary
caught up.
24-hour block on us.
They better
On,
catch up now. Come on.
on International Women's Day Marathon, they put a 24-hour block on us. Isn't that wonderful?
Nice.
So
Nice.
we're
That means
just
you're doing something good, right?
we're on other platforms. We're on LinkedIn and YouTube and all of that. So the people are finding us. But we're just going to re-air the whole thing. We'll probably do the marathon all day on Monday or something, so everybody gets to see it. Once I go and beg forgiveness from Facebook. And speaking of begging forgiveness, I'm sorry we were late.
Hey, things happen. It's all good.
How are you? Can we talk about Beyond Reflection? Can we talk about the productions that are going on right now?
There's so many productions going on right now. It's like my head is spinning. Okay. We are just really excited. We just finished Beyond Physical Matter. Tomorrow we are having the virtual red carpet, and things are just happening. I mean, Beyond Reflections, we're in filming for that, and I'm so excited about this. I didn't think I was going to be this excited, but it's getting closer, and now I'm like, okay, what's going to happen next, right?
So, Beyond Reflection, let's tell everybody what these wonderful movies are about. Because we had the honor of being there and assisting with the red carpet production and all of that for Beyond Physical Matter. So
Yeah.
let's start there, because tomorrow you have a virtual red carpet and a premiere. What's Beyond Physical Matter about, and what are people going to find out, and how do they get tickets?
Well, Beyond Physical Matter is, people keep, I keep seeing these posts of people who have actually seen it, right? And we just got a testimonial, and I'm so excited about it, but Beyond Physical Matter was really about the quantum healing effect that we all have that, most of us never use, right? And if we do, we're not using it correctly because, it's all about health, healing, longevity. It's just about, we have the power to heal ourselves. Jesus walked this earth and he healed people, and he says, we're going to be better and we're going to walk just like him, and we're going to do things incredible. And people just forget, or we just like us, we're so busy. You and I get so busy, we get so wrapped up in what we're doing, and we're not paying attention to our inner selves, right? And Beyond Physical Matter is going to put people back on track to say we do have the ability to do that. We are quantum beings, we are energy beings, and we have the energy and the sources to heal ourselves. Stop depending on other people and really look within to what we're doing to our bodies and what we're doing to ourselves, what we're doing to our minds, right? Who we listen
Absolutely.
to, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have to thank you for, allowing us. We love being a part of your production team. I love working side by side with you and just learning from you and Sir Don. It's absolutely amazing. It's like walking in an entirely different environment because you guys come from such a pure heart. Every project that you're doing, everything that you want to do, it's all about changing lives. It's all about reaching out. I know you have another project going on right now that's going to premiere, I think, next month or sometime. And that's the Mastermind Secret, right? What's
Yes.
that one about?
Okay, so the Mastermind Secret, we've had the Carnegie Principle Mastermind group for 8 years now. And it's all about mastermind. It's about collaborating. It's about bringing people together with like-minded ideas and helping each other build our business and just helping each other along the way of business, right? So we've done that for 8 years. So we've had a mastermind. So we decided it's time to do a Mastermind Secret because we based our Carnegie Principle based off of Andrew Carnegie. And being with Napoleon Hill and Don Green and the whole Power of Thought film that we did, it really kind of ties in together. So we're going to be doing that probably in May, I believe. We're looking at a May date, so keep your May dates open. It's only going to be a very limited amount of people. It's going to be 50 to 75 people that we're going to actually premiere it to and do a mastermind session with these incredible people that are in the movie.
So for the people that are sitting at home that somehow in 2024, they've never had the privilege or the honor of being in a mastermind, and if you haven't, get in one. What is a mastermind?
Well, just like I said, it's about collaborating with like-minded people, right? Sometimes I think we get in life, we're not really around like-minded people. And if you are, that's fabulous. And you need to stay in that group. But you got to remember, our pools get bigger as we grow, right? So watch who you're around. And I just want to say this to everybody. Watch who you're around, because if you feel that you've outgrown it, I think your tank might have gotten too small. So go into another group. It's all about collaboration. It's about helping each other build where you want to go, right? And the mastermind, I think, does that. Marie Diamond's in this movie, and she says she wouldn't be where she's at today if she wasn't in a mastermind.
Absolutely. And for those who don't know who Marie Diamond is, if you know the secret, you know who Marie Diamond is. You have been working with her for a while now. I mean, you guys are great friends, correct?
Yes, almost 20 years we've been together, and she's been in almost every project. And whenever I need her, I just pick up the phone and I can call her. And I'm so blessed to have her in my life. For sure.
Amazing. So can people join Carnegie Principles still, or is that a closed mastermind?
Absolutely.
So how do they do that?
CarnegiePrinciple.com. You can go there. You can check it out there.
Okay.
My phone is going crazy, and I don't know where you went now.
I am here. Can you see me? I can see you.
You can see me. Well, that's good, because my computer just.
I can see and hear you fine. So I don't know what your phone's doing, but you're fine.
I know. Oh, there it is.
I'm telling you, you guys are going to tell me. I know Sir Don is going to tell me about some energy or something. There is something going on today. I got to tell you, there is something going on today. Knock on wood.
It's been kind of crazy. The energy is definitely a little high, and very intense the last 3 days for sure, but hey, it's all good. It's all good. I kind of thrive on those kind of days, because it just brings me up and it gives me more challenge, right?
That's so cool. And what's funny is I'm getting text messages saying that one of our guests who's coming up, Pavla, her interview is running over and over again. Well, it's running an interview from before on the show. It's just running that over and over again because the Facebook has blocked us. Okay, so now we're doing Beyond Reflection.
Oh,
I have to tell you, I love this project. What's it about, and why did you decide to do this one?
Well, my mom passed away about 8 years ago. And I realized that my mom lived her purpose through me. She really was hard on me. And, I don't want to say hard on me now, because I look back and I'm like, no, my mom wasn't hard on me. She really defined who she knew I could become. And I'm going to say that again, because most people do things to you because they're pushing you to become somebody that you need to become. And my mom did that for me, and I'm thankful for that. I didn't like it at the time, but it pushed me to who I am today, right?
Yeah.
But Beyond Reflections, I realized that back 8 years ago, and I did a women's book called Women with Purpose, and I defined. It was really interesting, because during that time, Dawn had asked me, what's your purpose, babe? And I'm like, I don't know, whatever yours is. Right? I'm like, yeah, whatever yours is, love, whatever. And I'm like, because I didn't know what my purpose was. And I realized, I think women do so many things. We are so multitaskers, right? We take care of the kids, we take care of the husbands, we take care of the family, we take care of our mom, we take care of our dads. We do all these things, and we're multitasking constantly, right? And I didn't even, I just didn't think what a purpose was. I don't know. My purpose is to do everything else that I'm supposed to be doing, right? But never defined who I was internally, right? Who are you internally? And it didn't even dawn on me. And I came up realizing that I think there's most women who are out there who do this every single day, don't even define who they are because they think that what they're doing right now is who they are. And
Right. Exactly.
that's not true, because we forget. I started looking back when I was a little girl and I thought, oh my God, I had all these dreams, I had all these aspirations, I wanted to do so many things. And how many of them did I really do?
Mm.
A handful of them,
Mm.
right? So I
Yeah.
realized that beyond reflections, we talked about this because I was really struggling with the name, right? Do I go
Yep.
with this? Do I go with this? And then I realized, who are we looking at ourselves in the mirror every day?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
usually we're putting our makeup on and we're out the door, right? Okay, well, stop
Hmm.
for a minute and look at yourself and realize, who am I and what do I want to do for me?
And that your life is beyond that reflection.
Right.
That's amazing. So this is a woman's documentary.
Yes.
How many women's documentaries have you done with Sir Don?
I haven't any. And this one, and I'm so grateful because he said, "Babe, this is your thing." And I said, "Thank you," because I really needed to do it for me. And
And
for
right now, share a couple of the people. I know that Marie Diamond from The Secret is in it, but share a couple of people that are in Beyond Reflection because I'm just excited. I get to sit in the room when it's all happening.
well, Marie Diamond, yes, but while we were filming her, right? Her daughter
Hmm.
walked in, and I looked at you and said, "Oh my God, we have to put her daughter in here,"
Yep.
because it starts. I think it starts with us as we're growing, right? As
Hmm.
we're growing and developing our inner being of a woman, right? It usually starts around high school time, right?
Right.
So it's really interesting to hear her stories of what she's going through in college right now and how she's
Hmm.
defining herself based on other girls, right?
Hmm.
So that was really interesting. So we have Marie Diamond, her daughter. We have Forbes Riley, which was oh my gosh, wait until people hear
Forbes is a hoot. Yeah, her story is amazing.
right?
She
And
shared
then
things with you that she said she's never shared
oh yeah,
ever publicly before. That's what I love about Beyond Reflection because you're truly getting the heart and soul from these women. It's absolutely amazing. Sorry, I
yes.
had to throw my 2 cents in there. Go ahead.
And then Lady Shara Wilkes is in it also,
Hmm.
and I just don't think that we're done yet. I want to bring in her mom because her mom really developed who she is today. She talks
Hmm.
about that, seeing stuff that her mom did of, you know, what she's doing now and how she's living her life. And
What does
I think,
International Women mean? What does International Women's Day mean to you?
ah, that's a good question.
I
You know,
can.
I think we need to stop today and just be proud of who we are, as a woman, and be give ourselves give ourselves a hand for today. We do a lot. We do a lot, not just for ourselves, but for other people all the time. And I really want women to know that you're truly loved if you think that you are.
Mm. Can you say that one more time?
You're truly loved if you think that you are. And I think
Absolutely.
I need to say that to myself because I don't think we tell ourselves enough that we are loved. But it comes within, it starts with you. And it needs to start with you to know that you love yourself first, no matter what.
You have such a big heart. You welcome everybody in. And as long as they are truthful and in their own purpose, they can stick around as long as they like. What does it feel like to step from being that supportive person? Because you're a massive supporter. I can call you anytime, especially like now, and say, hey, sis, come on over. And you're right there. You're a massive supporter. I want to thank you so much for that. But now with things like Beyond Reflection and even your other productions in the Beyond family, you're stepping more out front. What does it feel like to be stepping into your own spotlight?
Ah, you know, uh, 3 years ago, I would tell you, Tigo, no, I can't do this right now. No, 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 no. Let Don do it. Let Don do that. He's really good at it. Um, but I realized something, I think because I do love people and I really want to help people, I was doing it from behind Don. And I think now I'm more coming to say, you know what? I really want to share my love. I really want to share my heart with people. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really stepped up to do this women's movie, because it's just time to have women love themselves, and I really want that message to get across. It comes with you first. It's about loving you first.
You're amazing. I love you. I thank you for extending, just opening the world. You opened your world to us, and I will always appreciate that. I can't wait to see what's coming next for Lady Melinda and Sir Don Boyer. You're the absolute best. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'll
Love
talk to
you
you
so much.
soon.
Love
Bye
ya.
bye. Love
Bye.
yourself. My buddy Michelle Jewsbury is here.
Yay! Hey, Tigo. So excited. Happy International Women's Day, everybody. And I hear Alan in the background. So,
Of
hey.
course, you know we don't go anywhere. Alan's got to be running everything, and that's what he does. How are you?
Good, good. Very busy, which is always a positive thing as long as it's a productive busy. I'm also taking some time for some fun. So there's some things coming up and excited. Just very excited about what's happening right now, Tigo.
I'm so proud of you. You do so much, but Unsilenced Voices, whoo, it's amazing what you do with Unsilenced Voices. Can you,
Thank
one, tell me why you created Unsilenced Voices and what Unsilenced Voices is all about?
Yeah, of course. So a brief history. Back in 2011, I ended up meeting somebody who I thought was going to be my Prince Charming. And we've heard about domestic violence. Today, we know what domestic violence looks like. I grew up in a household where I had no idea what domestic violence was. My mom and dad never yelled at each other, let alone lifted their hand to one another. When my mom and dad both passed away, their love story was the love story of the town. So when I started to experience this, the first time he had pushed me so hard against the wall that my head went through it, I didn't recognize DV. Fast forward, I stayed
Mm,
with him for over 4 years and experienced all forms of domestic violence, from sexual abuse, financial abuse, emotional manipulation, and of course, physical violence. And when I
mhm.
escaped, I ended up writing a 65-minute solo play about my experience in domestic violence and performing that in 2016. And when I did, that's when people started coming up to me and telling me their stories. And if you're out there
Mm,
and if you know that your story matters, you've gone through something, you can use your voice, you can make a difference. That's what started to happen to me. I felt God call me to do more with that story. It wasn't just meant for the play, it was meant for more. And in
mhm.
2017, I founded Unsilenced Voices, and we began in West Africa. So I've always had a heart for Africa, and God allowed me to start there. So we began in Ghana with partner organizations, expanded to
Wow.
Sierra Leone, where the bulk of our programming still happens with managers and staff on ground, expanded to Rwanda, and then in 2022 gifted $33,000 to survivors in the United States and did a 4-city tour. And then we've just published a curriculum called Graced for Prosperity, where we're hoping to collaborate with organizations in the Tampa area and, of course, beyond, to provide this curriculum to their clients. So it's been amazing. I started speaking in 2019, wrote my first book in 2019, But I Love Him, which is my experience in domestic violence. And then just started to realize I could teach other people to use their voice to create nonprofits, businesses, speak on stages, publish books. We just recently
Wow.
volume 1, Breaking the Silence, Voices of Survivors collaboration, #1 bestseller on Amazon in 2 categories. And we are being interviewed on Fox 13 on Tuesday, and then Channel 9 next
Wow.
2 weeks from now. So there's a lot of momentum coming, which is really good to bring even more awareness.
So wait a minute, you're on Channel 13 when?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Wow.
Fox 13 in Tampa. Yeah, Tampa Bay Reads. And then
That
I
is
literally
so awesome.
just confirmed it was Bay News 9 is the other one, and that's on March 26th. So
You know, I've heard of quiet power. You come in the room and you're like everybody's friend, everybody's sister. You know, you go up and you hug everybody. You remember everybody's name, like the Cheers,
right.
song. That is you. You try really hard, but you're great. You know, you put people together. You've introduced me to some amazing people, that I wouldn't have dreamt of being able to meet. And then you go take the stage and then you burn down the house. What
Woo!
made you decide that speaking was going to be one of the ways you shared your message?
So it wasn't me that decided. It's interesting the life's journey that we have and then what you end up doing. So I moved to Hollywood, California to pursue an acting career when I was 20 years old. And I loved acting. I still love acting. I just don't like the business side of acting. And I loved being in front of the camera and portraying strong characters, strong women characters, very similar to Nicole Kidman in The Hours. And then all of this turmoil happened. These traumas happened to me. And I think with my background, it was an easy transition to speaking. The difference is I'm not memorizing a script. A lot of speakers think, you memorize and you have to stay on these bullet points and things like that. You read your room. And the one thing that we teach differently is transparency and honesty and authenticity, very similar to Theresa and the Now Honors Awards, because it's so important. In The Power of Pink, you have authentic women talking about their stories. You have authentic women telling their truth. Oftentimes, we see on larger stages that speakers say one thing behind the curtain and another thing in front of the curtain. I tell you what, I am transparent. If you don't like who I am, I'm sorry. This is who I am, and I've gone through all kinds of things. I've death. I'm an adult orphan, drug addiction, abuse. There's so much that has happened, but now I can use all of that as my story to encourage other people.
So what would you tell other people, Alex? What would you tell other people that are thinking about, young women that are thinking about, I want to speak. I want to change lives. I want to get out there. I want to be the next, Michelle Dewsbury and be that quiet power that explodes the stage. What would you tell them?
I would say don't give up. So the first time I spoke, I barely could speak for 6 minutes. I was stuttering. I was a little nervous. I'm like, oh gosh, I got to make sure to hit these bullet points. I got to make sure to educate. And now I get on stage and sometimes people are like, all right, Michelle, your time's done, right? Get off the stage now. But I really would encourage you to continue. So in our legacy camp, I teach this 5 times a year. It's a group coaching program called Legacy Camp. And one of the weeks that we talk about is creating a course and then holding your first webinar so that you can sell this course from stage. So we help you do that. And some of the clients are like, oh, I didn't sell, right? I spoke on multiple sales stages, probably 6, 7, 8 that I paid $3,500 plus to speak on, and I didn't sell. And it's not about sales. And it took me a while to realize that. It's about servitude. So you serve the audience, you serve them well, and then they'll want to work with you. So just don't give up and continue putting one foot in front of the other.
I invited you on. You were here a few weeks ago, and I said, oh, you got to come on. We gotta tie Unsilenced Voices to International Women's Day, because you're not just helping women and young girls in America, you're helping around the globe, which is how you started your speech. And when we started this interview, I would love to tie International Women's Day Marathon next year to Unsilenced Voices. We're gonna go longer. The tech today taught us that there's gonna be some hiccups no matter what. But we're going to go longer. We're going to have more women than we had this year. I can guarantee there'll be at least 30, if not 40 that we're going to have come through. And what I'd love to do is just put a QR code and add your commercials into your PSAs, into our commercial bank, and share. And hopefully people will support, because I want them to support everything that you're doing. And your International Women's Day personified. That's what you do every day. So I would like Unsilenced Voices to be our official nonprofit for International Women's Day Marathon starting next year. What do you think?
Yay, I am excited and honored to be a part of that. So 2025 will be a huge cohort of individuals and women speaking their stories and raising funds, because Unsilenced Voices, we are all about collaboration and working together. And I know, who was it? I think it was Hillary that talked about we have to work together in order to make a difference. We have to collaborate. And the great thing about Unsilenced Voices is we are not just stuck in one way. We want to encourage other people to be a part of the organization. We're actually taking a trip to Sierra Leone in October, right after the Power of Pink Awards. And I'm taking 3 or 4 different individuals with us. And I think it's important for people to see firsthand what happens. So yes, 2025, March 8th, super excited, International Women's Day. Let's go. Let's raise some funds for Unsilenced Voices and give back to communities globally. So thank you.
Absolutely. What do you think? We jump on between now and then, we jump on and do some live streaming together and just interview some people that are supporting Unsilenced Voices and just keep the movement, get it built up for next year. You know me, I don't like waiting. And if somebody wants to support you now, what do they do?
Well, you can always go to unsilencedvoices.org. Again, unsilencedvoices.org. Find out more information there, and you can donate. You know, time, talent, or treasure is what every nonprofit needs. And we would love to be able to build a vocational training school with housing component in Sierra Leone, which is roughly about $150,000. And then we also want to expand in the US. It's a lot more expensive here, unfortunately, but having a day center with wraparound services and emergency housing, that is key. That's about 2.2 million. So we've got big, huge dreams. And then, of course, expanding from Sierra Leone. So Theresa, definitely, I would love to stay connected and speak. I mean, we speak all the time anyway, so it's not like we're not going to see each other or talk in the next year. But yes, let's hop on. Let's do some lives. I would love to interview a handful of different individuals, both men and women, who support, because you know, the injustices that happen to women, it's not a women's problem, right? It's a human rights issue. And in order to stop some of these horrible things that happen, from domestic violence, sexual traumas to human trafficking, we need both men and women. You know, I heard a statistic recently that 1 in 6 boys have been sexually assaulted. 1 in 6. Those little boys grow up to be men. And it is interesting. You were speaking to, I believe it was Tiffany. Yes. Sorry, I've been on for a couple speakers, so I was taking notes.
Thank you.
But I know what Tiffany was saying, that, you know, hurt people hurt people. And when an abuser identifies that he or she has been hurt, assaulted, something has happened to them, then they can go through the healing process and then be able to stop the abuse that happens. So it's an open dialogue. There's a lot of things that need to change, need to happen, but they are slowly but surely.
Let's keep International Women's Day Marathon running all year long, and I am so excited to partner with Unsilenced Voices. Let's just make it happen. You know, we'll make it one step at a time.
You are a rock star.
You are the bestest, and I'll see you on the next stage.
Sounds good.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, everybody. You know, the next person coming up is, again, a woman that I consider sister, I consider friend, I consider our sticky boot of 2023. Michelle Pearson-Young is here. Hey, sis, how are you?
Hey, I am so happy to be here.
Your mic is either muted. There it is.
Okay, so right out of the chute, I want to thank you for not only doing this and providing it for many, many people, but especially for bringing me in, because I think last year and a couple of years, I thought the day after International Women's Day, damn it, I missed it. And so you making it possible for me to put it on my calendar and really give it some thought is exciting to me, to be a part of this group, these amazing humans that you bring together. So my big old heart to my sister, T, you are amazing. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you know how I feel about you, and you know you're the glue that holds us all together for the Power of Pink and the Now Honors. And in my life, we've got projects together. We've got a show coming up. We've got so many things going on. What's going on in your world? How are the grandkids? Let's talk a minute. What's
Okay,
happening?
okay. So I'm having a really good time right now. And you know what? Studies show, you know how I am with studies. Studies show that all humans are the happiest at kind of this era of our lives, when we're getting more mature, when we've kind of stabilized our lives. And I am having so much fun right now. You asked about the grandkids, and they make me very happy. They delight me and surprise me all the time. Part of the reason that I'm thriving right now is because I do have projects that are going on. I'm creating a program that I've been invited over and over again. People have said, please do a digital program, please do a digital program. And I'm in that space now. It's in the middle of being created. I've got some books that are in the process of being made. I'm really getting excited to launch some important things this year.
You know, you're the best. We've got a project going on that I need to call you about. We're doing a docu-series that's right down your lane. Called The
Ooh,
Domino Effect. And you are all about those dominoes and what changes
gorgeous.
your trajectory. So what does change mean to you? Because a lot of people are terrified of change, and you embrace it. So what does change mean to you?
It's such a yummy question, because we are all in the middle of it all the time, and especially for women, we go through so many phases of our lives. There's the kid phase, which is kind of equal with the boys, but stuff starts happening, and we've got that pubescent stage, and we've got that we've got years of having babies or deciding not to have babies, and marry or not marry, all those things. We've got these different phases, and the fact is that I believe the reason people don't like change is because we're always trying to get our equilibrium. And it can seem like I got my equilibrium, and now things are changing again. And really, it's a real problem. I mean, it's true. It's reasonable to go, I don't want to have that happening yet. I don't want to figure things out again. But you said I embrace change. And honestly, I'm going to be honest. I'm like everybody else. I embrace change because change came and embraced me first, and it hugged me so tight. And after a while, it's like, you know what, if it's like that magical plant in the Harry Potter movies, where if you like wrestle against it, it just squeezes the life out of you. But if you just go, this is what seems like it's happening, then we can slide through it. And change is inevitable. Refining our lives so that we're getting what we want. I'm an executive coach. And really, when people say, Michelle, what do you do for a living? I say, I teach people how to get what they want. And in response to your question, I'd say, despite the fact that we are getting change almost every single day. So did I answer the question?
You absolutely answered the question. So let's answer the next one. I know
Okay.
you're a master at supporting from behind the scenes. I've seen you do it. You're a master at it. But you also know how to take the stage in your own style and
Oh,
in your
thank
own
you.
way. So when someone is sitting right now, there could be a woman, who knows, in Paris with Jen Duplessis, that's wishing they could have been on stage with her today, but they're too afraid to step out of their comfort zone. What advice would you give them?
Okay, so first of all, my little trick of my trade is that I don't give advice. I ask questions. And because I don't have your best solutions, because I don't know your life like you do. So what I would do, if somebody is sitting at home going, hey, how come Michelle gets to be here? And because I got some stuff to say. She clearly wants to say things, but I do too. How come I keep not doing that? And so what I would invite that person to do, okay, what I would invite you to do, you person
Okay.
that are having that issue wherever you are in this world, what I would invite you to do is consider, first of all, what is it about that stage that's inviting you? what is calling you, and what is it costing you to not do it? Those are the two questions that I would ask. And that might not be the solution. I'm not saying, and then you're going to get on stage and you're going to do everything, but that is my whole life is about going, where do I find my power? You asked me about change, and I go, well, I've had change foisted on me my whole life, just like you, right? We've all had these. We've been like, okay, I'm going along, and somebody goes, nope, change. And we're like, wait, what? And so the reason that I do what I do is because I go, okay, that's going to happen. We're going to get left turns and right turns when we thought we were going straight ahead. So where is my power? Where is it? And so the pivotal piece is in asking myself questions so that I can get the response that I want. If I go, I want to be on stage, but I'm not being on stage, then I go, what is keeping me on stage? Oh, and this little piece of yumminess that I heard, and I pass it on to people, which is, what would it take for me to do that thing? In other words, if I'm not doing something I know I need to do, like for some of us really, and you know how I am, it's like I'm compulsive. If I get a camera on me, if I get a microphone, if somebody says, is there a stage? I go, hello. I just light up. And so seriously, it's like, don't ask me to come to something when I'm sick, because I will come, and I'll be like, oh, honey. And then all of a sudden somebody will walk in the room and I'll be like, hi, how's it going? You know, it's just,
that is so you.
so asking, so if somebody doesn't do something they know they need to do, if somebody knows they need to be on stage and they're not doing it, then we get to ask ourselves the question, and please put away the labels, team. No labels here. Let's just stop with the labels. They're not helpful. Procrastination is not a powerful word. But asking myself, so when I don't do something I know I need to do, speak or teach or whatever it is that is holding that we really need, then we get to ask ourselves the question, what do I need that I don't have in order to do that thing? And this is more important, what don't I know that I need to know in order to do that thing? If somebody doesn't do something they know they need to do, and it could be start exercising, it could be something that simple versus, build a business of my own. But when I don't have what I need, or at least I think I don't have what I need in order to make the changes that I want to make, then I ask myself the question, what don't I have? Or what don't I know? And then I go about, if I don't know what I don't know, right? Then I can start asking questions of other people. Did that? Okay. How'd I do? Did I answer the question?
Oh my goodness. You always answer the questions, and you do it beautifully. So I've got another one that I know is going to touch your heart.
Okay.
I've started this conversation with grandkids. It's 20 years from now, and they come across this video and they're watching this. What's the one message you hope they get to energize and get them focused on their life?
Yeah, that kind of what I said right now. And it goes toward International Women's Day. We are so powerful. And I think it scares people sometimes. It scares men and women. Women are so powerful. And again, you ask grandkids. So again, let's not put boy or girl label on it. What would I want them to remember is to go to, where is your PowerPoint? Where are you powerful? I spent almost my whole life thinking that I was powerless and really raging against the patriarchy. I think I can get a silent amen from a few people out there going, this isn't fair. It's not fair to me. And as I've studied and gone, well, how can I get what I want? I don't actually want to be angry at anybody, and I'm not mostly anymore. I got therapy about that, but I'm not anymore. What I do want is to get what I want. That's what I want. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be mad at anybody. I just want to get what I want. I want equal pay. I want equal rights. So what would I want my grandchildren to know, knowing that I don't know what they're going to be facing? So how do we address all of it? And it would be, find where your PowerPoints are. And sometimes my PowerPoint is that I can get really angry. Oh no, people know when I'm angry. And that can be a PowerPoint if I use my anger constructively. Right. So I would invite them to go, hey, I'm powerful. And each one of us, I'm powerful Where are my PowerPoints? Because it's not always that I have the money or the connections or the know-how, but I do have PowerPoints. I know I do because I survived. That's it. So I know I'm powerful because I keep breathing. And so finding, well, what do I have that's powerful and how do I want to use it in my own favor? I would ask my grandchildren to look inside and find the power because it is there. The fact that they're breathing is proof of it. And it goes for each one of us. When we look at our lives and we go, hey, Michelle, but you don't know what I'm facing, I will say, that is a fact. Unless you share with me, and that is what I love to do, unless you share with me what is going on in your life, I don't know what you've faced. But what I do know is that regardless of what your circumstances are, there are pivot pieces in your life that will get you what you want. They will. It might take time. It might not look like you wanted, but we are so powerful. And tapping into that point, not looking outside and going, I need her to tell me how I'm powerful, but going, you know what? I remember what I do that gets me what I want. I'm going to do some more of that, and taking that on the road.
You're the best. That's all it is to it. You're the best. You're absolutely amazing. What's coming up next for you?
Okay, so as I mentioned, I have a course that's coming up. It's ready to launch in June. It's a couple months away because I've made so many courses. People have asked me to make digital courses, and I did. And I may have neglected to make really good digital courses sometimes. So I never was willing to launch them. So I've got a June date to give me all that yummy time to get my ducks in a row, to get my production up and everything. And I would love, if anybody's listening to this and they're like, I would like to know about getting what I want, how to be effective over nice, how to get resolution in my relationships, like real, like I get to feel whole and complete when I end relationships in the middle of them and get what I want. And when I'm in them, I have an offer. So what I would love to do, I'm going to give you my easiest email address, and that is Michelle, MICHELLEATPLAY. It's a Gmail email address. So it's Michelle@Gmail. And if anybody listening to this is like, I would like to know how to get what I want. I've got this really fun, honestly, I made it, it's a little art piece. I've got some art, some favorite women art behind me, including, by the way, that's my Sticky Boobs Award. I know it's my favorite. It sits here with me. And anyway, so if Michelle@gmail.com. And if somebody wants white paper, I'll just email it to you. Type in the subject box, resolution. I call this the resolution conversation. So, I mean, honestly, what I'm doing is I'm going to collect your email address. And then when that digital course pops up, then you're going to get some information on how you can dial into that. So that's what's coming up next for me. I will see you in San Diego. I will also be at the event in San Diego. And let's see, what else is coming up? This coming year, 2024, I believe this is a women's year. And if I may, because ask me what I love about International Women's Day, will you?
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what do you love about International Women's Day? So the timing's perfect.
Okay, thank you. I love this for us. Okay, what I love about International Women's Day is that women have not been celebrated. The work that women have done has not been celebrated. And so this is a day to say, hey, let's celebrate. And the celebration of women is very much like a coin, if you will. And so when we celebrate the side of the coin of life that is women, when we shine it, and we shine that coin up and we see how valuable it is, by definition, we will shine the other side of the coin, which is men. International Women's Day to me means celebrating humans, because when we celebrate how women are different, the ways that we see the world, the things that we can do in the world that are different, we by definition celebrate the other gender, which brings its gloriousness too. But without both sides of the coin, we're not functioning wholly as human. And that's what I love about International Women's Day. Aaron said to me this morning, jokingly, he said, when my husband, Aaron, for those of you who don't know us, he said, when is International Men's Day? And I looked at him and he goes, every other day of the year. And I'm like,
I can't think of a better way to close out than that. You are absolutely amazing. I love you. Thank you so much. I can't wait to catch up. come on the show when you get closer to your launch for your course, and let's, really talk about it?
I'm there. Absolutely. I
You're
adore
the
you,
best.
Tigo.
I love
Right
you
back
too.
at you, my sister. I love you. I'll see you
talk
next
to
time.
you
Thanks for
soon.
having me.
Thank
Bye.
you so much. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, welcome back. As you can see, I am not alone anymore. My buddy is here, and I get to say this first on national streaming, on world streaming. Everybody welcome Dr. Patricia Jo Grover. Congratulations.
Oh, Tigo, thank you. Thank you. It's such an honor and a privilege to be able to, this weekend, this whole weekend is epic for me.
You're amazing. Tomorrow you actually will be given, and it's official, but today is the day that you have officially earned your doctorate.
Yeah.
I love this woman. I want to be her when I grow up. What does that mean to you?
Everybody can. I call this the Holy Trinity. If you have faith and belief in our Lord Jesus, you believe in yourself, and you believe in the beauty of your dreams, that's like the trifecta, right? That is what it is. And if you can do that, you can become unstoppable.
So I'm going to ask you a question. It's probably going to throw you off balance. And if you don't want to answer it, I totally get it. But I know it's been just almost 2 years since you lost your husband. And if he was here today and he could see you as a doctor, what do you think he would say?
He'd be celebrating. I know he is. I know he's watching right now. That's my girl. That would be my husband. That would be my husband. He's up there. He's saying cheers. He's cheering me with, clinking a glass of wine. That's what he would be doing.
So tomorrow we're doing what? Because I get to go and hang out with you tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow I spearheaded this new summit. It's the Global Strategy Mastery Summit, Empowering Women Worldwide. And it is going to be held right here in Las Vegas by the International Chamber of Commerce. We're going to do it with them right at the consulate building here in Las Vegas.
Okay, no pressure. You want me to MC that?
Yes.
Maybe you said a little of this. You said, you invited me over for a little. We need to conversate. That's a lot. That's huge.
But you're doing this right now. Yeah, you do it all the time. I even know this inside out and upside down, girl.
I'm going to have to put on a good suit tomorrow. What time does it start, and can people still get tickets? They can still get tickets. We have, if you go on, you find my Facebook page. Patricia Jo Grover or Patty Grover. You go there, and we have the links all there. It's doors will open physically at 9:30. The event starts at 10 a.m. And we're only charging $25. $25. And we have like 4 speakers and different things going on. And we have actually a fashion show going on during lunch. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And online tickets, people can get a Zoom ticket for $10. Because we're going to be streaming everything, so right on Zoom. And,
What does International Women's Day mean to you?
Celebration. I always say, life is too short. And especially after losing my husband. It made me really realize, none of us are getting out of this alive, right? So we need to live our life to its fullest potential every single day. And as women, just think about that. Allow yourself to know that you're worthy and you're capable of having more, being more, doing more, and earning more. There's nothing holding you back but yourself. And that's what I teach clients, and because I'm Patricia Jo Grover, and I choose to live my life purposely, joyfully, and gratefully, and live it to its fullest potential.
What does fear mean to you?
Base everything in life.
Ooh, I like that.
And so my show on JD3 TV network is the Rise Above show, where we rise above challenges in all 8 dimensions of our life and turn believers into achievers. Okay.
I love that.
So that's that show. And now I just started a new show. It's Good Morning Risers. And I share with people every morning. I get on or whether it's morning or like today, I didn't do the morning yet, but I'm doing it this afternoon. But it's Good Morning Risers. And I share what I'm doing, because I walk my own talk. Whatever I teach and expect my clients and want them to be able to learn to do, I do it myself, and I walk my own talk on a daily basis. So whatever I have put together and built in my proprietary conference skills education is what I teach everybody else to do. And it got me from where I was to where I am. And if it works for me, it can work for you guys too.
What are you going to do with your doctorate? I mean, I know you're going to hang it on the wall, but you have a plan, right? You do everything with a plan. So what are you going to do with your doctorate?
Well, I am going to, I'm going to have it in back of me for, so people can see it will show, be proud. I said, talking about being in Vegas this weekend, because this is an epic weekend for me here. What happens in Vegas, the saying, the phrase,
what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
No way, baby. What happens in Vegas goes global. We go global. And that's, I don't have a problem with having these big, bold, bodacious dreams and goals. So with my PhD in entrepreneurology, I am going to be a professor at, being a professor at, through the International University of Entrepreneurology, offering courses also worldwide for people there. I have my own university through Patricia Jo Grover. But I'm just going to be out there speaking on stages all over the U.S. this year. I am working with people trying to get my Conquering Skills education into the U.S. job force. People that are ages 16 to 24 that are there that never learned the life skills and soft skills to be successful in life. And, because they have fabulous programs, the education that they have there, they're getting their GED, they're getting technical, training in automobile repair. Right. But they need to learn the things that are going to give them that confidence and self-esteem so they're ready to take on the world and learn the skills to be able to move forward in a positive direction. So I want to get my Conquering Skills education into the U.S. job corps like that, but also the women's prison system. So I have somebody that I'm working with now trying to put together a program. So in both places, I want to start a pilot program in one location and see how it goes. And I know it, you know what I mean? I see these things. I already see it having happened and already being real. And that's what I teach people how to do. People have vision boards, right? My vision boards are 5D, okay? You see it, you feel it, you smell it, you taste it, you touch it, all those things, because the more real that you can make it to yourself, when you close your eyes and you can be there and feel it, that's a magic. I mean, that's special thing.
Yeah, there's nothing better. So, we met at speaker training, James, Baron, Sir Dr. James Bentley III. I swear we need a plaque to say that. But we met at before that, but we shared speaker training. So now you're speaking on stages, you've got your doctorate, you're in a documentary. We got to talk about that for a minute. What's next for you?
Okay, so my initials are PJG, Purposefully, Joyfully, and Gratefully. Well, I got to see how that would work out because, I'd kind of like to be the Oprah of positivity. So how do we switch things up? I do have a show, and on my show, with the Rise Above show, I interview guests from all over the globe that are tops in their fields in each dimension of life. Because as a goal achievement strategist, I help people to get from where they're currently finding themselves to where they want to be in both life and business. But the thing is, I'm not a professional in each dimension of life. And if I can explain just a second?
Absolutely.
Okay. We all, every single one of us, everyone listening, watching, and everyone here in this room, we all have the 8 dimensions of life that we have: the physical dimension, intellectual dimension, environmental dimension, and that's not just ecological, that's your neighborhood, those types of things. Then there is the your educational, your occupational dimension,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then your social dimension, your emotional dimension, your spiritual dimension, and your financial dimension. So every single one of us have all these plates that we're trying to keep spinning at all times,
Right.
right?
Right.
And what happens is there's no way that everybody's keeping everything.
Yeah, you can't keep it balanced at the same time.
There's
No.
no way. And anybody that tells you that they are, they're full of shit up to that. This is true. So, and so I talk about wearing masks.
Mhm.
Masks. People wear masks because they're like, okay, everything's okay. There's nothing going on. This whatever in my life, because we put masks on for other people to make other people think, hey, everything's okay, right?
Mhm.
But we also put masks on for ourselves because we don't want to realize just how bad something can be.
Ooh.
And we don't want to do the work, and we're not ready to do the work. So that's stuff that I do with my clients and what I teach for my proprietary conquering skills education. There's so much to it and all the different pieces. So my philosophy on life is the jigsaw puzzle. And I had shared a little bit about my story with you.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until after my third divorce that I went through that I finally decided, you know what, I have to disassemble all the pieces that have made me the woman that I have become,
Mm-hmm.
and start rebuilding myself one piece at a time. And that's when I came up with my philosophy on life, being like a jigsaw puzzle. And that, she goes, so that's when we started talking about the domino effect,
Mm-hmm.
just, again, how this fit together, because how many times, because of different things that had happened in my life, the tragedy and trauma, and we're paying comes wisdom, everyone. That's what it is. That's what it is. So, but with all those pieces that I've had to pick up from my puzzle that's been torn apart so many different times, that I had to build and put back together, well, that just connects so well with the dominoes. Because how many times, if you guys have ever tried to set up dominoes, and you just get stuck so far and they knock over,
Yep.
you gotta set them up.
Yeah, set them up
It's the
again.
same thing. So with the film, the domino effect, I finally got to the point where I got them all lined up. And now things that tip is going to the tip, to the tip, and
That's amazing. And that's why I wanted to have you on the domino effect. You're one of the cast members of our docuseries. We filmed your episode last night. It was so much fun, and also just sharing that moment with you. And we went a little bit deeper on your journey since your husband's passing. I want to thank you so much for, one, being in the domino effect. I can't wait till we air it. I hope you'll come to the red carpet. I know you'll be at the red carpet. And also just coming, you literally came to town to be in this seat today and for what's happening tomorrow and getting your doctorate. I thank you so much for hanging out with me.
hey, I came from Maine, and I'm enjoying. This is the first time I've been to Vegas and not done Vegas stuff. But here we go. This is the thing. Okay, but I became a movie star.
Yes, you did.
I'm on a show that aired in over 50 countries.
Somewhere there, yeah, like that.
Like that.
Yeah.
And tomorrow is an epic international event. That this is our first annual, and we've already been invited back to do something in September
Nice.
for the international delegation of countries. They want to have us come and do the event over for the people that are the heads of states and different things, so that they can see what we're doing, so they can see if they want us to come in this country.
That's amazing.
International Women's Day. This is like epic. So, it's like I'm lost for words from there. I mean, whoever would have thought? This little old girl from Maine that didn't have a child that most people could conceive of won't believe, and here I am.
I thank you so much for coming. I thank you so much for hanging out and so much for believing. I'm your super fan. Every time I see you, I say, Patty, because you are just blazing those trails, and I'm just so happy to be able to follow right behind you. Thank you so much. Enjoy International Women's Day.
Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, Renita, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on?
So tell me what's going on in your world right now today.
Hey, everything's going on, Tigo. I'm just doing what I was called to do. And let me just say, it's International Women's Day.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
what a day. What a day for it's the opportunity for women to be able to showcase who they are, both past
Exactly.
and present. So I'm excited just to be a part of the platform. I'm excited just to be one of your first guests this evening, kicking this thing off.
Yes, ma'am. And tell me, I know you have an amazing book, but you're also working on a new project. What's your amazing book that you have out?
Well, I have a book. It's called Finding Daddy, and it's pretty much my truth. I released the book in 2012, and when I reached the book, it's just me telling my truth about being a fatherless daughter. For those of you who don't know, I'm a fatherless daughter advocate, and I advocate for women and girls who was raised without their biological father. And it's time that we have to bring awareness to that because so many women have been living behind the mask based on whatever trauma that took place in their life, whether it was with the small T or big T. So I bring awareness to that growing epidemic that's going on with the fatherless daughter generation.
That's amazing. I love every time you come in the room, you can just feel the vibe. You bring the room together every time. And then you're also super cool. We need to talk about that. You're also super cool. But you are absolutely amazing. What's your new project that you're working on?
Well, I got a couple book collaborations going on. I'm doing some things now in the Florida area. God is using me down in that area to help out some individuals down in South Florida. But I have a couple book collaborations. We just finished one called Breaking the Silence, Voices of Survival. That's a book where me and 21 other authors came together and collaborated that book, which is a phenomenal tool that's out there now. And we got another collaboration that we're working on, as well as some engagements that's coming up.
So when you're not, flying all over the world, because you're an executive for a wonderful airline that I fly quite often, and when you're not flying all over the world and writing books and on stages, what do you do to just have fun?
Hey, well, you know what? Believe it or not, a lot of people don't know it, but I'm an advocate golfer. I am an advocate golfer. I love golfing. So in my spare time, I play golf. I like bowling. And believe it or not, I start next week learning how to play pickleball. I don't know nothing about pickleball, but a lot of my friends are doing it. And they've been telling me about it. And they said it's such a phenomenal sport. And by me being an athlete, they know I can do it. So I have my first lesson in pickleball coming up next week. So I'm very excited about that. But outside of that, self-care is very important for me. Where I can sit back and go to the spa and go, get massages and just unwind and just, renew my mind. My son is a yoga instructor. So he's teaching my husband and I how to do yoga. And it's very interesting.
That's fantastic. Okay, so what does International Women's Day mean to you?
Wow. Hey, look how far have we come. Women International Day. It's really a time that we can just celebrate each other, versus it give us a platform to rise above the women rights in all sectors. And on top of that, we can highlight each other as far as the women that the present and the past women. So it means everything to me because I am a woman that's out there doing the work, sharing my truth with people. So Women's International Day is a day where we can collaborate together, we can elevate each other, we can edify each other, and just learn from each other and grow together and continue to do the phenomenal work that all the women around the world is doing.
Sister, I love you. Your hair is fly as usual. Thank you for putting up with all of our technical difficulties. I'm going to try to get this back on course and on schedule. Please take a few minutes and come and be on the show and do a full interview with me. Please, please, please.
Most definitely. I would do that.
You are absolutely amazing. Tell everybody your book one more time.
The book is called Finding Daddy.
That is Woo, here we go. So when you're in trouble, you call friends and family. So we are in trouble with tech. So I call my friend, my family, my cuz. Sergeant Fox in the house. What's happening? Hey! What's up, bro? I decided to wear my designing
something so fabulous.
Yeah, it's my designing now.
It's like very cool.
Isn't it cool? That's so neat. So, Sandra Paul Couture,
Yes.
you were our artist of the year last year, one of our artists of the year last year. You're absolutely amazing. You're absolutely amazing. And, you know, you got me out of t-shirts for the most part. When you're not around, I do still wear them. But you got me out of t-shirts and so forth.
Well, it's my job, right?
It's your job. Why? Because you are Sandra Paul Couture. You're an amazing designer. How did you get into design?
I've been a designer since I was a little girl, and I absolutely love clothing. I love everything about fashion, the fashion industry. I love it all. And I saw mahogany for the first time in 1974, I think it was. And if Tracy can do that, I can do that too.
I'm loving this. She said I can do that too. What's your specialty?
Well, dresses. Dresses would be my specialty. I mean, I can make amazing dresses, but we can actually design and construct everything from leather pants to wedding dresses, everything in between. Suits, dresses, skirts, or jumpsuits, whatever it is, we do it and we love it. Yeah.
So you are, how can I say this? You are now venturing into stages and being on shows and in front of mics and cameras and all that good stuff. And you're doing amazing at it.
Well, that's
yes?
not your fault.
Well, I wasn't trying to have her say that,
I'm
but
just saying it's all your fault.
why is it my fault? But okay, besides being my fault, are you loving it yet?
I do enjoy it because at the very first Now Honors, when you sat me down and made me do this interview, which I was completely afraid of because I consider myself behind the scenes kind of person. It was never about me. It's always about my client first, the apparel and the visuals. And so, I never thought I had a story to tell until we had a conversation, and you absolutely do. And so you put me in a very uncomfortable situation for myself because I don't like to do public speaking all that much. And you can just relax and tell your story, and you're going to be fine.
Wow. Okay. Why did you take my advice to do that? Because you could have just skipped it. You could have said, no, I'm not doing it. Nobody forces you to do anything. So what made you to say, you know what, maybe I should step out of my comfort zone?
Because I'm always saying that to my clients, to step out of the comfort zone, to just, relax and give yourself a chance to look at something new, look at it from a different kind of perspective. And, you may see a very minute thing that could just bring value to you, your life, how you look, how you dress, and your confidence. And so if I can't walk the talk if I don't do it myself.
There's somebody out there right now, somewhere in the world, watching this, and they love to sew, they love patterns, they love design, and they just want to be like you when they grow up. How do you get started in the world of fashion?
Well, if you love to sew and you love to design, you've already started yourself. You just have to keep practicing, fine-tune everything that you do. You can check into education and go to school and get, professionally trained. But there are a lot of amazing designers in the world that are not professionally trained, and they just keep applying knowledge and learning to build up their aesthetic to create beautiful garments. So if it's something that you really, have your heart set on, I would say, find a technical school or design school to go to and go get education. It's wonderful. It'll change your life.
This event, International Women's Day, this is our 4th annual International Women's Day. You've been a part of 3 out of 4. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
This also kicks off our Now season, as we like to call it, Now in Power of Pink. We start marching towards October. What does Now mean to you in the Power of Pink?
Oh my gosh, that was probably the most life-changing event I'd ever attended. You're sitting in a room with amazing women with incredible stories about tenacity, about overcoming, unsurmountable obstacles. And you hear some of the struggles that these amazing women have gone through. The small details about your life become very minute after hearing and experiencing it and having a conversation with them. And they're just the most amazing, formidable people I've been in contact with. And it was absolutely life-changing. So if you've never been to the Now Honors, the Network of Outstanding Women at the Power of Pink Summit, you really need to take care of yourself and go. Yeah.
So what's coming up this year? I mean, I want to thank you. You guys have been an amazing sponsor for the last 3 years and supporting us, you know, as we go into this third year of live in person.
Yeah.
You know, what has it meant to, you know, to you? We already asked that. What's coming up for 2024 from Sandra Falk Couture? Because last year you did an amazing fashion show. So what's coming up? What we going to do this year? Can we tell them?
Yeah, we're going to do another fashion show this year.
We are.
We are. Yes, we've already, we're in the design phase. I have a great team that since my very first Network of Outstanding Women Power Pink Summit, my business has grown exponentially. I have a full-time lady tailor. I've got 2 part-time lady tailors plus myself. And so between the 4 of us, it's a very interesting conversation over the cutting table every morning. So we're very excited about the ideas that we've come up with for the next fashion show for Now Honors. We've gone to textile shows. We're waiting for pieces to come in. It's going to be really, really amazing.
What do you see happening for you in the next couple of years at Sandra Falk Couture?
Well, so Las Vegas is slowly becoming a very great fashion scene. And so when I look at that as a designer, I wanted to find a way to bring ladies together. We could talk about fashion, we could, try on things, we could talk about, fit and, what works and what doesn't work. And so I created this event that I'm hosting in my studio every month called the Designer Conclave. And we did our first one last month. It was amazing. It's a limited space, so we can only hold like 10 people because it's intimate, and we really want to talk to our clients and get everybody's feedback about how they feel about fashion in general. It's great. So, yeah.
I thank you for hanging out with me. I love it that whenever I call, she comes a running. She's like, I'm doing what? Never mind. I'll be right over. What do I wear?
Absolutely.
You're the best, and I can't wait to see what we're going to do next for International Women's Day, for Now Honors and Power Pink, and all with Sandra Falk Couture. You are the best.
Thank you so much for all your support. Really.
You bring on Dr. Shelly Hipsky because she is just a superstar. Hey, Dr. Shelly, what's happening?
Hey, I'm so excited to be here on International Women's Day with you, Tico.
I'm so happy to have you here, and when I say superstar, y'all, all of those pictures behind her are covers that she was on, I do believe.
Yes, ma'am.
Take a look. An entire wall of covers.
Yes.
You are absolutely fantastic at what you do. I look up, you're singing, you're performing, you're running a nonprofit, you have amazing children. We have a Captain's Grill here. I have to take you there next time you're in Vegas. What do you do for fun?
Well, all that is fun for me. I wouldn't be doing any of it if it wasn't fun. So I love to, sing and dance and act and have a great time with my kids and, travel the world. I'm in St. Martin here soon. And then this summer, Africa with the Global Sisterhood. So
Wow.
I love to get out there. And I love people, Tico. So like whenever I can be around inspiring, empowering women and help lift them up, that's where I'm at.
You just mentioned Global Sisterhood, and it's such an honor having you here on International Women's Day to share the message of Global Sisterhood. Would you just talk a little bit about what you founded and what Global Sisterhood is?
Absolutely. And like you said, today is the day. And also on March 8th, so coming up here on March 16th is actually Global Sisterhood Day internationally. So today is International Women's Day, and it's Women's History Month. So absolutely, I'm all about all the wonderful things going on for women right now. One of those things is the Global Sisterhood. We have been a nonprofit for the last decade. We have been helping women and children around the world. We say from Pittsburgh to Pakistan. We have everything from a school for entrepreneurship in Tanzania, Africa, which I will be able to go there, and we're going to actually be putting in a big well system so that they don't have to leave the school and walk miles to get water, clean water, healthy water. We have been working with them for about a decade, and we've been helping get their wares from Tanzania here to the States so that they could be sold. It's just been a wonderful, that's one of the projects just in Africa that we've been working on. We'll also be visiting Hekima Place, which is our orphanage in Kenya, that we've been helping as a charity partnership. We've got down in South Africa, we're going to be landing in Johannesburg and doing some work there with Hasina and Shashima Patel. And she Skyped into my classes almost like 15 years ago with her students for my doctoral students when I was a tenured professor. But also I have been helping lead empowerment circles there and teaching these young women how to vision board and get empowered and live their best lives. They're in Africa, but there's also projects in Pakistan, Nepal, India, right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I live. So it's just been such a blessing to help lead this dynamic, impactful organization.
You could have done anything, and I mean anything. You know, if there's any Rolodex I would love to have, yes, I'm old enough to have a Rolodex. If there's any Rolodex I would love to have, it's Dr. Shelley Hipsky's Rolodex. You can call just about anybody in a single dose. What made you decide, I'm going to go in the direction of global sisterhood, I'm going to help women and young girls of all ages? Why did you choose that way?
I think it chose me. I think, I mean, just the circumstances, the people that kept coming into my life, the people that I were attracted into what I'm doing with my 15 books and I had a television show, Inspiring Lives with Dr. Shelley, and just all the different things that I'm doing lended itself to, oh my gosh, there's a woman in trouble. She has a need. How are we going to fill this? And I did that Rolodex thing. We think of my brain as a Rolodex. So I just started putting together the pieces and saying, you know, this person has this ability to do this. Maybe they are able to raise funds. And then there's this person over here that knows how to do, you know, the videotaping, or this person over here knows how to get a hold of food for a whole city that's in need. And we started really just networking these women leaders that were all running organizations already, or had dreams of it, and it just all started coming together. Now we have dozens of charity partnerships. We do what we call hashtag pop-up giving, wherein women come to the Global Sisterhood and they say, look, it could be everything from my friend's house burnt down and she's in desperate need, to I have a friend who's in a horrible domestic violence situation, what can we do, to this person. I mean, recently we just had a sexual trafficking thing that we had to help shut down. Wow. And that was a familial one. So it was and this is we're going kind of deep really quick, but there was a situation where a family member was trafficking a young woman. So I mean, like all those hashtag pop-up givings all count, and they're so important, because when there's a woman that's in trouble, you don't want to be like, here's some red tape.
Yeah, here's some red tape.
Jump through all these hoops, which is what a lot of people go through in their lives. And there are checks and boundaries and those things and balances. But I think that when you have a global sisterhood, you're never alone. And you have a family, and you got people you can count on, and you don't feel like you're just,
out there twisting in the wind.
And
and I mean, it's International Women's Day, and we're all bells and whistles and balloons and rainbows right now. But in reality, there's a woman watching probably right now, or a woman that knows of a woman that is going through something, and they need help. They need help. how do they reach out to Global Sisterhood? Do they reach out to you first? What's the steps of just getting started with trying to get help for someone?
So I would definitely go to the Global Sisterhood Facebook page and get yourself into that group. Then also check out at globalsisterhoodonline.org the different services and things that we provide. We have levels of membership that have helped to fund these projects, because we don't want to constantly be turning people away. What has been a wonderful thing is that we have resources, and if we don't have resources, we can usually point them towards the right people to go to. I don't want to come on here and say we can meet every single need ourselves, but that's why we have charity partnerships. That's why we have a wonderful cadre of fantastic ladies around the world that can also pitch in. And you know what, if we put our amazing brains together, we will come up with a solution.
Definitely. And
Definitely.
you definitely have the circle of love around you. I had the honor and the privilege of being at one of your events not too long ago last summer. And I hadn't been to Pittsburgh since I was a kid, and it's just beautiful there. But the connections that you have, the hearts that are in that room, it's absolutely amazing what you're doing. And I'm your super fan. Anything we can do from here, we're all about it. Before I let you get out of that hot seat, because I know your day is super busy, can you just tell the world, what does International Women's Day mean to you personally?
Oh my gosh, I think I got a little emotional when you asked that question. Just because of the love and the hearts and the souls and the being in the trenches with the ladies and holding their hands when they cried, and just the hugs and the love. International Women's Day to me means it is a celebration of the incredible spirit of empowered women around the world.
You're amazing. You're the definition of heart-centered. I'm so glad to call you my friend. And thank you so much hanging out with us for International Women's Day.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Now, if you've been following me, or if you're a friend or a family member, I'm a veteran, and I've got all the paperwork in the card to say I'm a disabled vet. I don't like claiming it because nothing stops me when I get my mind made up. But I thought I was determined. I was focused. I was there. And then I met Stacy. Stacy is a powerhouse, y'all, and she is our 2024 Now Honors Hero of the Year. Hey, Stacy, what's happening?
Hey, how's it going?
It is absolutely amazing. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us on International Women's Day.
I could not think of a better place to be, with so many epic women in the lineup, and just spending a day with you, celebrating all the badasses that are out there, lifting us all up.
You are the ultimate badass. Now, if they look at you now, they think model. But you have actually been in combat, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, I was on the front lines when we invaded Iraq in 2003. And actually, a little tidbit before that, we deployed to the Pentagon right after 9/11 to clean up anthrax. So,
wow.
Just a little stuff.
You've had to make choices in the military and still make choices, but life or death choices.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to thank you for that, because, people don't realize if you're not military, you don't experience it, and 90% of us don't experience what you experience, being right up front and that person that's saving the people behind you. What was that like?
It's funny. People ask all the time. They're like, you've been to war. How is that compared to entrepreneurship? And I am like, running a business is way scarier, because at least when you go to battle, you have a team, you are trained, there's structure, there's a plan. And for most of us, such as myself, I started out as a solopreneur, and this is 100% an internal game,
Mm.
and no one else is there to support you in the same way. And
Mhm.
so honestly, the fear, the mindset piece, the challenges showed up significantly worse when I was on my own.
Oh,
Because,
wow.
at least in the military, you're really set up for success in ways that I don't think a lot of people kind of in the general public don't understand, right?
Mhm.
You've got your battle buddies. So yeah, I'm like, entrepreneurship was just like, no, way scary.
So how are you navigating your business? How are you, leading the troops? Because the troops is pretty much you and your team. How are you
Right.
doing that?
Exactly. It's I've always led by example. So, people were always like, how did you get into doing this? Because I've had my first business now for over a decade, my second business for 3 years now. We're ready to split into another entity and just developing other projects as well. So now it's really about focusing on leading by example by being my first client. I am
Mm.
always doing the work first, testing it out, whether it's bringing it to my team to say, hey, this is how we want to be in integrity. These are our core values. This is how we want to live and lead. But at the same time, always making space for them because it's not a dictatorship, right? This is
Wow.
about this collaborative experience. But I had to do my own work first for that to happen. And it took 10 years after I got out of the Army for me to realize that I was still stuck in survival mode. Now, that was
Mm.
great when you're on the front lines and it truly is a life or death situation. But I didn't get the memo that when you started a business, all of that stuff's going to come right back to the surface and you're really starting over again because everything's a stress trigger. So
Yep.
everything's keeping you constantly fight, flight, freeze, or fawn and keeping you in this survival mode. So you're always defensive and you don't ever get to really flip into playing offense. You're never playing to win. You're just playing not to lose because you're in the
Wow.
survival strategy. And so it's always been about how can I better perform? How can I optimize for my team, for my clients? And now it just helps me be a better speaker, leader, impactor in the world by bringing these concepts to the table to say, hey, let's just get to the root, flip you into thrive mind, like calm the stress. Now you're
Mm.
open to creative problem solving, open to opportunity, and really being able to move the needle forward by doing less and succeeding more.
What would you tell someone that just got out of the military, Army, Navy, Air Force, and on, and they want to be an entrepreneur? They've had a great idea that's been burning in the back of their head for the last 4 years, the last 20 years, and now they're ready to move. What advice would you give them?
So always the number one thing is absolutely go for it. If you're feeling that nudge, there's a reason. I ignored it for a long time and that was part of what contributed to my rock bottom moment.
Mhm.
Also, you're not alone. It didn't even know about all of the veteran business resources available until last year. So way past the power curve. There are so many assets and tools. There's organizations, some that I even contribute to myself, like Action Zone Tampa, Business Beyond the Battlefield Conference in Texas. There's a lot of those things, the SBA. There's so many veteran entrepreneur resources
Mm.
that basically you're not on your own. You get to take that team, that camaraderie, your battle buddies with you because they've set you up for success. The most important piece is just knowing that they're there.
So you are the 2024 Now Honors Network of Outstanding Women, and you are outstanding hero of the year. What does that feel like to you? What do you think of that? How are you feeling?
Um, Insanely honored and humbled to receive such an honor, knowing how many impactful and amazing sheroes there are out there. And it's something where it's really inspired me to look at all of the things that I'm bringing to say, okay, how can I continue elevating not only myself, but all of us female veterans who are doing big things in the world, to say, okay, I am going to take this torch and carry it into next year, and not just own the honor myself, but say, how can I contribute more to this? What can I bring to continue elevating the now honors and the Shiro Award? So thank you for that. I'm just so grateful.
Stoked. I am so stoked. I mean, when I met you, I was like, oh yeah, she's a Shiro. I mean, she's a Shiro for real. You know, she's a Shiro. Let me ask you about, you know, nowadays you volunteer for the military. There are young women that are thinking about it. You know, June's coming up, they're going to graduate high school, and they're saying, hey, I'm not going to college. I'm joining the Army. I'm joining the Navy. I'm going to go and serve for our country. What advice would you give to them for that day one?
Right. The biggest piece of advice, since I actually joined at 22, so I had at least a little ounce of adulting under my belt when I joined. So it was recognizing that the experience is there to serve you and support you. So don't get lost in the moment. So it's really about allowing it to mold and shape you for the bigger picture, and not get too stuck in what's happening in this moment. Nothing's ever personal. This is a pathway that is designed for success if you allow it to do what it's designed to do. It's those who really resist and fight the transformation that it is, which is a powerful gift you've experienced, I've experienced, obviously all of the other amazing Shiros we know have experienced. And we've allowed it to become this asset that's helped build us up. But it requires a little bit of the breaking down for that to happen.
So before I let you out of the hot seat, I got a couple of questions for you. One, you know, you're so structured and so cool. What do you do for fun?
Oh my gosh. Ride my motorcycle, go scuba diving, you know, very big adventure things. That's the thing, is like, you know, I can be serious mode, but I am such a goofball. We've got season tickets to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I love football. Definitely the extreme sports. Like I said, scuba diving is amazing. Just like being on the motorcycle, there's a peace and a stillness in the experience of it. So if you're on the bike, it's wind therapy. If you're under the water, it really is this water therapy, because there's nowhere else that you can be but the present moment. Wow. And it forces you to slow down and be deeply, deeply mindful and just in the experience of the moment that you just don't get in the day-to-day and the hustle and grind and the, you know, being a boss and living life. So yeah, those are the things for me, you know, roller coasters too, because, you know, why not?
Wow. And what does International Women's Day mean to you personally?
So as somebody who lifts women up all the time, I work with men and women and just love any opportunity to be of service in that way. I've always focused on curating this circle of really service-minded, impactful women. But what I love about International Women's Day is it's an opportunity to really celebrate it in a whole new level. I think as somebody who grew up in a lot of male-dominated sports, businesses, environments, I mean, really, even today, same thing, very male-dominated. And I hung out with men more than women because I was conditioned to believe it was competition. There was a negative association. There was drama. There was all of these experiences that were negative. And that doesn't have to be the case. So International Women's Day reminds me that women are there to lift each other up, straighten each other's crowns, and really rise together in this sisterhood of success.
You are the best. I can't wait to honor you in October. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today and all of us today. And of course, thank you for all of your services, military and post-military. You're blazing trails, kid. I can't wait to see what's next.
You are so welcome. And thank you for this platform, this community, and your friendship. And I can't wait to see all the amazing things we do together this year.
Absolutely. We're going to share some stages. I'll talk to you real soon.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Is that Tiffany? What's
It is. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much for being
Yes.
patient and waiting for us. Hillary literally just dropped in.
Yes, she
What's
did.
What's going on with you today on International Women's Day?
I just finished up my summit that started at 10 o'clock this morning.
Woo.
My last speaker ended at 5:35.
Woo.
Yes.
What was your summit all about? Tell me.
It was Women's History Day, and it was just the power of positive women and the life-changing, transformational stuff that we do with our positive energy.
Wait a minute. You did a full summit today. All day. You said 10 to 5:30 in your time, because it's only like 3:30 here. So in your time. And then you still have a voice. And you came on here with me today?
Wait a minute. And I changed shirts and put on some lipstick.
What?
Yes, I did.
Talk to me.
Yes, I did.
Talk to me.
Yes, I did.
I thank you so much. Because I know if somebody called me and said, come on, something else after this is done, I'd be like, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I thank you so much. What is going on with you? What's happening right now?
Wow, a lot of stuff, and it's funny because everything that she said, I feel as though we are in a time as women where it's our time. Like it's our time. Those women who are about service and about showing up and transforming the lives of other women, it's our time. This is our time.
And what are you doing to empower yourself and empower women in this time? Because I totally agree with you. It is absolutely our time.
Sure. So my story stems from, I am a survivor of intimate partner domestic violence. And I was stabbed 7 times. And during that time, as a survivor, there were different things that I needed to honor my experience and my truth in that space. And I didn't feel as though I got those things. So now here I am almost 20 years later. It happened in 2005. So I stepped out and I began speaking in 2006, but I wasn't speaking from a healed space necessarily, I would say. And 20 years later, more mature, different life experiences, I'm able to speak from a healed space and really explain what it was that I didn't get in my experience, that honored my truth, that honored me as a survivor. So now I am creating those spaces for other victims and survivors of domestic violence.
Wow. That's powerful. I know that there are women right now, young people right now, that are watching this, that are going through that experience right now. They're in that terror right now. What would you tell them? What's the first step of getting out?
First thing I would say is it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Even from the survivor aspect, after it happened to me, a lot of what seemed to happen was like that blame game. Well, what did you do? What didn't you do? So that's the first thing that I would say. I would say it's not your fault. As far as getting out, and this is where things get sticky, where I disagree with some advocates in some situations, We have to understand the dynamics. My first question would be, are you safe? Because some women stay for different reasons. And we have to come to a place where, we're not afraid to have those tough conversations. Can you imagine that woman who all her life she has been a homemaker, and again, it doesn't only happen to women, but it's International Women's History Day. So we're going to talk about it from a women's aspect.
Right.
So that woman who has been a homemaker all of her life, her partner, husband, whatever, has provided. So each and every day she is a victim of domestic violence. And all of a sudden he says to her, she has it in her mind, she's leaving. I've had enough. And he literally says, if you leave and you try to take my kids, I'm letting you know I will kill you and them. How many times have we seen it happen?
Yeah.
It happens.
It's a daily occurrence now.
It happens, yes.
It's insane.
It is. So sometimes the safest thing to do is stay. Is stay. As harsh as it may sound, is stay. My kids stay safe. I stay safe. So I'm willing to endure the abuse to keep a roof over my kid's head, because what do I do when I leave? I've never worked, so different conversations like that. As a survivor on the other side of it, I'm able to challenge what it is and how we see in the conversations that we have around domestic violence.
Right. Now I'm going to ask a very odd question that I have never asked before.
Sure.
And that is, I heard from someone who is the one who's doing the abusing. He's the abuser. And he said, I was abused. My dad was abused.
Ooh.
My dad was abused. I don't want to be an abuser, but it's in my DNA. This is just, I don't know how to stop it. What would you say to that if you were in that room?
First of all, the simple fact that he acknowledged it, or, whoever acknowledged it, that's the first step. Now, what steps are you going to take to correct that flaw, I'll say? What are you willing to do? You know it, but now what are you willing to do about it? I believe that it's even courageous to say it. Yeah. It's courageous to say it. Like, that's a scary thing, to say that, it's in me, to say that you're bringing that sort of torment to somebody. So, the first step would be acknowledging it. Now, what do you need to do to change those characteristics? Who do you need to get around? And that's another thing from a survivor's aspect. And I can only imagine, as an abuser, as a perpetrator, the resources are limited.
Right.
That's
what I was thinking.
Yeah. The resources are limited because what do we see? We see organizations who, and again, conversation and speech and word is just, we see organizations who support victims. So what does that do? That instills the cycle and the ideology that you remain a victim. Wow. We don't hear about organizations that support survivors and send out into the universe that we are a domestic violence prevention organization. We help victims. What about everybody else?
Right.
What about everybody else? So, again, just attempting to change that conversation.
You are so powerful, and the mission that you're on is just a blessing that you're there. I want to thank you so much for just being a part of this room in this time. Technology issues, all that stuff, we still need to get the message out there. And before I let you out of the hot seat, I've got two more questions for you. One, someone who, like you said, it's been 20 years since you went through that experience. How did you learn to trust again? What do you tell somebody when they say, I just can't trust anybody anymore?
I trust myself. I trust myself. It had nothing to do with him. And that's the other thing about Me being on the other side of it, understanding that you have to maintain your power. Don't ever give your power away. When I focus on, talking about him and speaking about him and what he did and the why, I can't explain to you why he did what he did. But what I can say to you is you have to maintain your power.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know that you are more than that experience. You have to know that it was a moment in your life. It was something that happened. It doesn't make you less than. It is nothing to be ashamed of. It is nothing to feel judged by because you were in a situation. We all have situations. Things happen. But trust yourself. I think that's the biggest key. You have to learn to trust you.
You're brilliant. The next conference you have, I volunteer. If I can help you in any way, let me know. I'll be on your stage. I'll help you with tech. Usually tech is really good for us. Not today.
That was me. That was me. Oh,
Usually
it
tech
didn't
is
want us
really
to get
good.
our messages out here. I think women in organizations, we flooded the airways today. We had a message. Yes, we had a message to get out. I started a half hour late.
Ooh,
Tech was
see.
but we ended on time. I was like, what in the world? But it was just meant to happen how it happened. And, it went along with some of the messages about perfection.
I hear you.
It doesn't have to be perfect. Show up. Show up.
That I can't think of a better way to end this conversation with you. This starter conversation. We got so many more to do. Please come on my show.
Yes.
I'm totally serious. If you need me, I'm there. Just give a call. I'll be on the next thing smoking or virtually piping in. Tiffany, you are the absolute best and a blessing to all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Yes.
My good buddy, my friend, and the new executive director of something big for us, Wendy Cunningham Barnes is in the house. What's happening?
Man,
Where are you
this
in the world?
girl, you know. I am in Dallas visiting my family, and we had to pull over. I'm like, I'll just do, hey, you make it do what it do, right? So we're parked, we're safe, but I had to jump on and hang out with my dear friend, Tigo.
You're amazing. You're so great. And we have so much
Oh,
fun. We get to
we do.
honor you this year as our
Man.
philanthropist of the year for the You Belong Foundation during the Now Honors. I am so excited. Thank you for honoring me last year and letting me know I belong. That was so special
Yeah.
to me. Can you tell us what You Belong is all about?
Man, the You Belong Foundation is just the heartbeat of the special needs community. Oftentimes, as a single mom for 12 years, I found myself not really feeling like I fit in anywhere, because my kids had something that was rare. And so creating the You Belong Foundation created a space that it doesn't matter what the disability is. The caregiver, the person with the disability is welcome. You find home, you find family, you find places where we share stories, we share resources. We have events that bring us together, and it culminates with the Page Awards where we celebrate people like you. We celebrate people who have a disability who are overcoming every day things that we could not imagine, right? Things that
Right.
make them a stronger group of people than we are. And I love highlighting that every year at the Page Awards.
When is the Page Awards this year?
Saturday, August 10th.
And you know who just left the screen was Dr.
I
Carey.
do. She is our keynote speaker. Come
Then she gonna
on.
bring that house down too. Y'all better get good insurance because she burns down the house when
She
she's in the house.
does.
She's
She's
absolutely
amazing.
amazing. And
She
I
is.
have to do a little break and say, hey, yes, I belong. I have a
Yes.
disability. I actually have two. I'm dyslexic, and I also am a disabled vet. So I thank you so much for acknowledging me and bringing me there. That was amazing to meet those wonderful people. And my nephew's son, Christian, because he is just the
Yes.
bomb.com.
He
He is
is.
the
He
absolute
is.
bomb.com. I want
He
to take,
is.
this is our first event of the season for International Women's Day or for Now Honors and Power of Pink. And you've jumped on with both feet. You're ready
Yeah.
to go. It's so
Yeah.
amazing. And I want to take this opportunity to tell everyone that everything that we do in this season, a percentage of that is going to You Belong Foundation. We want to make sure we're
Man,
constantly supporting you and all that you do.
thank you.
And Mr. James, you know, we got to acknowledge
Yes.
him. It's International Women's Day,
Mr.
but I
Barnes
got
is
to,
valid. Yeah,
yeah,
he's important.
we gotta acknowledge Mr. Bonds. He is my
We
brother
do.
from another mother.
Yes.
He is
He's awesome.
absolutely fantastic. One of the first things that we're going to be doing is, July 13th, we've got the first
Yeah.
ever community now honors and Power of Change coming
Yes.
up. And you're
Yes.
co-hosting with me and Sherry.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Come on now. I'm excited. We're
Yeah.
going to honor 5 women there and we're just
Yeah.
going to spend a day having a blast. How are you feeling about that?
Oh, excited. I love the fact that, women get a bad rap in society, right? That women are catty, women are, backstabbers, whatever. Women supporting women is powerful. Women
Mm-hmm.
it's sharing resources, stories, right? Supporting each other. So that day is gonna be bananas. They're not ready. They are not ready,
They not
but
ready.
they're
They
not.
not ready. You
The
know.
joy in that room is gonna be amazing. Come, that's where you want to come, and you're gonna feel empowered. You're gonna feel like you belong. Like that statement, it goes across lines that you're gonna
That's
belong. You're
right.
gonna find a space. You're gonna find a sister there. So you got to come
So
join us on July 13th.
so July 13th. Before that, May 2nd, we're going to do Times Square and put all you
Yes.
honorees from 2024. Welcome you to the family
Oh,
on the Megatron in Times Square. I can't
man,
wait to do that and get all kinds
man.
of pictures of that. And then after
Yeah,
July, we're doing the Health and Wellness Summit. You're a part of that as well. That's a 3-day
yeah,
virtual event that we're going to do. And
yes,
then, of course, the Now Honors is the 3rd through the 5th of October. And that's when you
yeah,
will get your 12-inch high, 8.5 pound eternal flame honor. And
wow,
I cannot wait to
man,
see your smile when you receive it.
man.
But what people don't know is you've agreed, and I thank you so much for
Mm,
to be the chair, to be the lead, the executive director of the
man,
new
thank you so
community
much.
of the Network of Outstanding Women and the membership site and all
Yeah,
the things that we have coming. We're going to
yeah,
unveil so much good stuff in the
right.
coming months, years, and I'm so glad that you're going to be, co-piloting next to me.
Yeah, it's about creating legacy. Legacy, we women do stuff and they don't give themselves credit for the stuff, the mountains that they move, the miracles that we perform every day. This is a space, and I love the space that you've created, and I'm completely blown away and honored that you want me to be a part of this as a chair. Like what? I'm honored. It's a blessing, and I appreciate it, and I thank you for allowing me to be in that space.
Absolutely. And everybody knows that in our family that we've been looking for nonprofit that we can, partner with and support. And everything that we do with the community, the masterminds, the
Yeah,
internal events that we'll be doing with you as our chair, a percentage
mm,
of that's all going to You Belong Foundation because we want
yeah,
people all over the country and eventually all over the world to realize what a support team feels like when you have a
yeah,
special needs family member.
yeah. It's needed. You have to. There's no way you can do it alone. And there's no reason you should do it alone. And that's what we endeavor to show people every day. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to feel ashamed or embarrassed. You belong. And if you have a disability like people like yourself, the strength, the strength that you have should be celebrated. It shouldn't be ashamed of anything. Christian, everybody has seen Christian on on the internet. That boy is so strong. He smiles through the craziest of times. He gets me out of bed. And I want people to have more awareness of that, to understand their own blessings. If you don't have a disability and you get up and you just have regular people stuff to do, that's a blessing. But to be in a space with someone with a disability, you need to be in that space to get a better understanding. They're people. We all want to, everyone wants to feel like they belong. And there's no
That's what
different
it's all
with the
about.
special needs community. So we're here to celebrate. We're here to include everyone.
What's the website before I get you out of the seat? What's the website of You Belong Foundation?
The You Belong Foundation.org. The You Belong Foundation.org. Sign up for the email so you can stay up to what we're doing. Come support us. You know, I have no problem asking for money. There is a donate button up on the website because we have so many things we want to do. We want to help so many people, and we can't do it alone.
Thank you so much. You're my friend. You're my
I
sister.
love you so much.
You're now the chair of the Now Honors community. You're the best.
Thank you. Oh,
And your hair looks fantastic, by the way. You're the
yeah,
best.
she had to come in. She had to get off the plane getting her hair done. Shout out to Alexis in Dallas. So I
Enjoy
appreciate
Dallas,
that.
enjoy the family. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Bye-bye.